Welcome to the Feats and Fables 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons streaming game just for adventurers like you. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you find your entertainment these days by searching for Feats and Fables. You want to watch us live and chat with us, we'd love to have you. Please join us on Twitch from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday nights. I'm Paige Lightman, the DM, and I'd like to welcome you to Aglarond. Our heroes are part of the Foresters, an elite group of scouts and rangers charged with defending Aglarond's borders, particularly against undead from the evil fascist nation of Thay. Our heroes are racing towards the Singing Sands to try and recover an ancient elven artifact before people from Thay get there first. The Red Wizards of Thay wish to warp the artifact to their own evil ends. Currently, the heroes are in the mountains of eastern Aglarond at a dwarven settlement to seek their aid in finding a shortcut to the Singing Sands. Previously on Feats and Fables, our heroes have gone through their loot, heard a petition from gnolls about refugee resettlement, received accolades from Boulder Hall for having rescued the 7th Special Legion, and are working out a deal with the dwarves for the use of the passage under the River Umber. Let's meet our heroes. All right, so we have Victor Toussaint, a human eldritch night fighter played by Ron Franke.
Ready for adventure.
We have Wildfire, a fire genasi evoker wizard played by Joe Streaky.
So I have a new bracelet which says, "What would Mira do?"
Ooh, nice. We have Ross, a lizard folk Drake Warden ranger played by Coda of Codab Games.
Hello, everyone.
And we have currently, at this point in time, Bert, a bugbear alchemist played by Dr. Andrew Wong.
Yeah, man, I'm just here meeting all of your pharmacological needs, man.
And we have Belwyn, a dwarven paladin played by Ben Heisler.
Well, wait, what am I signed up for?
All right, so our heroes are currently in the Hall of Ancestors at a large party in their favor, where a group of Knoll refugees have that was not at all what I meant to do.
1 second, Paige. Let me transition to that scene.
Okay.
With our fancy new transitions.
Right?
So fancy.
Whoosh.
Swing. Got it. Okay, where they have just been gifted with armor, and it's the kind of the morning after they have arrived. The Knoll delegation is being carefully watched at an area off the throne room, and you are left there talking to the twin queens of Boulder Hall. That would be Brangian and Freya Bouldertan. What would you like to do? You're preparing to talk to the dwarves and kind of nail down the details of going through the passage to the Singing Sands.
I think we should do it, Victor. Having such a strong ally like Knowles on our team in our Aglarond would be invaluable. Not to mention, leaving them to rot in the hands of the necromancers would be inhumane, even for Knowles.
It is tempting to strike a blow against Thay whenever an opportunity presents itself. And it wounds me to hear their plight under the thumb of Thay.
Then what is the problem?
Well, we are on a mission, and that has to come first. Just for clarity, Paige, we're in front of the Knolls currently.
The Knoll delegation has been moved into an area where they may rest and have food and drink if they wish it. Pretty much the dwarves have had them pushed off to a waiting room off to the side where they can be watched while the dwarves are talking this out.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, if the
that's
Knolls-
right. I was salivating at the thought of what the dwarves would prepare for the gnolls.
It is known as steak sushi.
Well, since the Knolls out here, I will say, if you remember, we've been tasked with retrieving this artifact, which if Thay gets it, they could use to pop open the defenses of Aglarond, and it would perhaps spell the end of the entire country. So we cannot pluck at low-hanging fruit at this time, especially since we'd have to go for such a long time in the opposite direction from our primary objective. This is no small detour.
But once we get to the sands, we know exactly where we're going with the device that the witch gave us. Surely we could spare some time to help them.
I'm not sure of that at all. I mean, we know Thay wants this artifact. We learned about it through their communications. So while we probably have an advantage, there's no telling how big it is.
I don't like turning a blind eye to the Knoll's plight. It doesn't feel right.
It is indeed hard. We can, we're not the only forces Aglarond has. Possibly other forces could be sent. They wouldn't be able to get there as quickly as us, but maybe there's something Perrin can do to help the Knolls. I mean, we do have Griffin Riders back in service after all, so men and material can be moved quite swiftly if needed.
Did Joe, was it public knowledge that you were having a sending with Perrin?
Yeah, I told you all about it.
Your Roll20 screen.
So I will. Oh God, Paige's head is on one screen and body is on the other. What is even happening right now?
No, ignore the wizard behind the curtain.
I just wanted to see how something looked on Ben's screen. It's fine. Move along.
So it became a game of Portal.
You know what I especially love is on the stream, Paige's head reached all the way through the Roll20 screen.
It is. Paige, extend your arm.
I don't
What sorcery is this?
If only Aglarond had Paige on their side, they could just have her reach over, rescue the Null Matriarch, and reach back. And all would be well.
Truth.
Oh yeah, no, she does some epic. Wait a minute.
All right.
Harumph.
We get a harump out of that guy.
Oh God, where were we? Oh, so I will turn to when you mentioned that Perrin might be able to dispatch more foresters to help. I will turn to Wildfire.
If we cannot go ourselves, you must mention the plight to him. I am sure he would be most interested.
Mm-hmm.
But you are not wrong, and if it is what your command is, Victor, then I will follow.
That is good enough for me.
And with that, I mean, it is clear that I'm not happy with this outcome, but my scales are tied. I don't know what you want from me.
Your scales are tied?
My scales are tied.
Really uncomfortable.
It very much is. But thus is making a scale pact with a human, I guess.
I suppose.
Good. I would like to verify a couple of things. Could we perhaps make plans in the morning? Sleep on it, as it were.
This is actually the next morning, but because remember.
Oh, right. We did sleep on it, didn't we?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes,
I forgot we slept.
because for instance, Victor, I wanted to call him Tririn, Ron. Victor had armor fitted overnight, and it showed up.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so did Ross.
All right. So no. Instead, I will say
Ross is armor out.
yes. So instead, I'll say
But
Well,
you still have not gotten final buy-in from the queens to use the passage under the river Umber.
that is true.
Okay.
So, my good queens, will you still grant us passage under the river?
Small but important detail.
A little more small talk.
Yes.
Brangian and Freya look at each other uneasily, and Freya actually steps forward to say, the weak problem with the whole damn thing is, even inadvertently, we feared that it might be a route for Thay to get into the underground network of tunnels, and if so, that provides them another avenue of attack. And we keep our catacombs not far from there, and that is just a necromancer's playground at that point. I'm just not sure. And she looks to Brangian, and Brangian's like, we owe these people so much, including the life of my daughter, and I'm not entirely sure what to say when I balance that against the good of all of Boulder Hall. And at that point in time, an elderly dwarf woman walks into the hall and says, "Children!" And both of the queen's heads snap around, like it's that mom voice. And she says, "I have talked to these young folk. And that one," she points an aged finger at Victor, "seems like he's got the genuine best interests of Aglarond at heart, which is a damn sight different than the best interests of Boulder Hall, but you have to give him credit for it. That one," she points at Ross, "seems like he is in this to follow this other one, but it says a lot about Aglarond if they're taking lizard folk into their ranks." She...
I shut my mouth knowing that's not... Nope.
She strides forward, and she's very plainly dressed. And while quite old, is still pretty vital. And she walks forward, like the hall's gone completely silent. And she points a crooked finger at Wildfire. "You! I haven't talked to you yet."
You're on mute, Joe.
Talk then, I'm here.
Right. Why are you risking every bit of your bony ass for the Foresters and for Aglarond?
I owe them my life.
What do you mean?
I was in a very rough place, and Forrester saved me.
You could have still walked away. I mean, you're a wizard, right? That's the word. Couldn't
I
you
am a
have
wizard.
disappeared into the population and gone elsewhere?
I certainly could have. Doesn't change the fact that they saved my life, and I owe them a debt.
She nods her head briefly and then looks at the queens and says, "I think they're good people, but that's just one woman's opinion." And she reaches over and pats Brangian on the arm and gives Freya's shoulder a squeeze and says, "I'm going back to my smithy now." The queens remain in a very formal posture, saying, "Goodbye, Mom. Yes, Mother. Thank you." It's the meekest they've looked since she walked. And she trundles off to wherever she came from, with the room still being entirely silent. As she leaves, Brangian sits down and says, "Well, apparently Mama likes you." She shrugs at Freya, and Freya gives her that. All right then. Well, if Ma says that you're good people, then I'm certainly not going to argue with her. The thing is, you can't just get loose in those tunnels. You don't know where you're going, and as nice as y'all are, you ain't a dwarf. And the queens look at each other, and then both look at Belwyn. You.
I?
Yes.
What?
I think you're going on a bit of a field trip, daughter.
What?
Yes, you are going to accompany these fine folks through the tunnels and make sure all the right decisions are made. To look out for the best interests of both.
But Ma, I just got home.
Freya holds up one finger and just shakes her head no.
What? Wait, you can't just go directly to the one finger. We gotta have some discussion here first. There's a bit of back and forth before we get to, one finger or the head shake or any of that stuff.
Oh, you want to take it up with your grandma?
You know what? I think I'm gonna go talk to her.
Both of them shrug and give you a look that you can only interpret as, "May the force be with you."
That Bowen gets up and walks out.
Okay.
Are you sure she didn't just do a runner?
There's a chuckle goes up from the room, and Freya said, she might try and do a runner, but if she gets away from her grandma, she knows she ain't coming home again."
Ross leans over to Wildfire. What's happening here?
We've apparently been given a princess.
That's good.
Well, I think we got used to the tunnel, so that's good, at least. I mean, the Belwyn seemed like an able fighter, and she saved our bacon a little bit she certainly saved my bacon with the necromancer, so certainly I owe her a little bit, so I think she'll be a fine traveling companion.
She does seem fierce.
Yeah, I agree.
Freya says, "Well, I believe it'll only be a matter of time before dear Belwyn is back in here and ready to march. Having said that, we'll need to outfit you for a trip of some many miles. I think it's about probably 50 miles to the point where you're going to have to decide to make a right to go get the knolls and a left to go to the stinging stands. So you'll need riding lizards, you'll need water, you'll need firewood, you'll need rations and rope and all those kind of things. It'll take us. How big of a hurry are you in to leave?"
We're in a decent hurry.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what. Do you want to leave tomorrow morning, or do you need to leave today?
Well, we're still waiting on contact from our leadership, so I think perhaps tomorrow morning is the correct plan. And certainly I have some purchases I need to make here, some components that were lost during my captivity and whatnot.
Aye, you come see me about your magical components. I'll see that you get the best that our smiths and shops offer.
Excellent.
Adrian says, "I'll set it up with the Outriders to make sure you have what you need to succeed in the tunnels, and get you what maps we can part with."
Excellent.
Has Bowen made this trip before?
She's not. No. She's been with the tunnel rats before on various patrols, but like I said, the tunnel under the Umber has been long unused, and who knows what's moved into it. We mostly just protect that area. When we have some time and spare resources, we're going to start opening it up, and as I said, tunneling towards the north. with the ideal of getting to a stretch of tunnels that'll take us straight to Gonalgrim.
Sure. Well, perhaps we can get prepared and rest up and get ready for the journey tomorrow morning.
Sounds good to me.
Excellent.
If you're well known as heroes of Boulder Hall, I'm sure the merchants and smiths will be right generous with you.
Yep. Better get properly equipped for the journey rather than running off, forgetting our toothbrushes.
Excellent. Yes, who would want to do that? Just like run off in the night and just make their way as best they can.
This is funny because some years ago, this team ran out of Fortress Clarendar with their tails on fire, extremely wounded. I think you had 12 hit points between them all.
Is your goal not to have the spell components for your spells? Because that can be arranged.
No. I'm going to get them now.
Okay.
Did
Ross,
she say riding lizards?
Yes.
She did. Do you want to go see them?
No.
Fair enough.
So, what are we doing?
I'm going to go pick up some spell components.
Okay.
I'm looking for a gilded skull and ornate box and a ornate inlaid vial. You know, totaling about 1,200 gold across the pieces for certain spells that require now very expensive reagents, apparently.
Sure. So Freya works with you a moment and then sends you off with one of her adjutants to go through various places. The gilded skull you find is actually a very cool skull of a gilded raven.
Nice.
Or it's a raven skull that's been gilded. So it's only like, this big.
Sure.
And a lockbox, like dwarves got lockboxes coming out their ears. And the other one was what, a gold vial?
Yes. Let me go pull up the specific list.
That is easy enough to do. They take a glass vial and actually dip it into gold so that the gold is on the outside of it.
What's that? A gold inlaid vial.
Gold inlaid. Sure enough, they put the molten gold in and roll it around.
An ornate stone and metal lockbox. The gilded skull and a vial. Oh, nope, not that one.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Nope, thank you. No, thank you. I'll pass on a vial of blood obtained within... A vial of blood from a humanoid killed within the past 24 hours. Pass.
You want to get the honor of collecting that yourself.
Exactly.
So, do we want to have Belwyn versus her grandmother?
Well, no, it's not exactly versus.
Fair enough.
But sure.
Just remember, Ben, when you have a disagreement with somebody, don't face them. You have to turn and stand next to them. That way it feels like you're on the same side.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So, Belwyn heads back to Ursul's smithy. I like how I'm wee tiny. Oh, there we go. Now I'm a good size. I was just
bigger.
She's just
Bigger.
Pillar of the community. She's got to be huge.
Is she huge?
No, she's not. Hey, Gran.
What? She pours a heavy crucible of metal into a mold and kind of looks at you over the smoke pouring off of it. What you need, girl?
So, Ma and Ma want to send me down off these We Here adventures.
No, that sounds like good fun.
What? I just got home.
Right, and now it's time for you to get out. I feel like we've gotten awfully, I don't know, insular since your grandfather's time.
What?
Moradin, protect his soul.
Insular?
Yes!
You really think so?
You don't think so?
Well, I don't know. Now that you say it, I do kind of think so. And if they're sending me out...
You'll meet people, you'll learn skills. Travel's good for you, girl.
Wait, are you saying this is like another one of those study abroads where you sent me away for 6 weeks to, the butt end of, where was that, Airspur?
Yes. Airspur's a lovely city. Your grandfather and I courted there for a while.
Oh, right. Well, you know what? And Belwyn gets a grin at that. I think that is a great idea, and I think I'm going to go talk to Ma and tell them that I'm going to be willing to go, and that also I think we're too insular, and I've got just a plan for that.
Oh, I'm sure that Brangian is going to hate it.
Oh, aye.
Excellent. Good. Rattle her cage a bit. She's awfully, stuffy.
What, stuffy? You can't be saying that about your own child.
Oh, I can say that about my own child. Brangian's too stuffy and, well, Freya gets mad at everything, goes off like a firecracker at the least spark.
Well, right, but, that's...
I raised them. I know what they are.
Oh. Wait, does that mean you're responsible for the way they are?
I maintain that your grandfather went a long way towards that as well, but I must say that Bright Boot's always been a good influence on Brangian. He's such a nice boy.
All right. Well, thanks then, Gran. I'll see you in a bit. In a boot.
Right. Give your father my love.
Right. I'll make sure I swing by and see him too on the way.
All right.
So,
Who's next?
Paige, that day, Ross is very, he is sticking to the room because that's where the fire is. And, God, if that doesn't feel better than literally anywhere else in this godforsaken hellhole.
Actually, once they figure out that you're cold all the time, they take you down to a deep, deep part of Boulder Hall where they actually use the heat of molten rock to run a lot of their forges. And the heat is swelteringly intense.
Ooh, I get a personal invitation into the dwarven forges?
Yes. They take you on the grand tour, and the coolest place down there is about 95 degrees.
As much as I would love that, though, I feel like being in the rooms where I actually have to do the packing and the organizing, because let's face it, I'm going to be carrying all this shit as the barbarian. Oh wait, no, we've got a sock now, don't we?
We've always had a sock.
You have always had a sock, and you heard something about riding lizards.
Nary can I remember a time when we didn't have a sock, but those were not great times. But still, I feel like having to do an equipment check is only necessary, so as much as the grand tour of the really warm forges, I feel like I am stuck in the room with my stupid little fire, packing up my bags, agitated that we're not saving gnolls, and my friend Mira, who is normally the one to talk to me down from situations like this, isn't here. So I'm less packing the sock and more just punching things into the other dimension that is contained within the smelly gym sock.
The gym sock does not smell.
The sock sounds like
it smells perhaps of lavender. It smells of lavender. Prestidigitation for the win.
So I'm not the happiest camper right now, and anybody who sees me, it's very clear that Ross is just not in a good place.
Sure. So Wildfire kind of walks in. He's got an armful of magical components as well as mundane components, right? Like hardtack and stuff like that for the journey. And they'll kind of see Ross wrestling with the bag of holding. Ross, is everything okay?
I don't like it.
What-
She's gone, Wildfire. Mira. She always had a level head for things like these. She knew how to talk to Victor.
I think it'll be fine. I don't think we need to worry about it.
We should be rescuing those gnolls.
I think that when we get our instructions from Perrin, I think we will have a clear direction where we need to go.
But the worst part is that Victor's not even wrong about the situation. See, this is why I can't be the leader of the tribe. I couldn't make a decision like Victor could.
I think you probably could if you wanted to. I think if you realize if you had people under your command, you would have no choice but to make that kind of decision.
But it's more than that. Victor isn't doing this because of us, the people under his command. Victor is making his decisions for the good of Aglarond. If it were me, we would be halfway down that tunnel on our way into Thay.
Well, I mean, we have to go down the tunnel, no matter what direction we're going.
That is beside the point.
No, it's. I'm also sorry that Mira is gone. Her being gone is a great loss to us, and it's certainly hard for me to not think that Mira would want us to go and rescue the gnolls. It's the kind of thing she would have greatly opposed Victor in, and given that she was attaché, she would have had perhaps a better stance than you do in disagreeing with the commander.
That is well put, but again, I cannot go against Victor unless Perrin were to say otherwise. But I don't think he would. In this situation, I think Victor has the right of it.
I kind of walk over and pat you on the shoulder and say, I'm sure everything will work out just the way it needs to.
Well, I wish I could have such faith.
Oh, wait, I'm getting a phone call.
What phone?
Paige, what echoes through my head?
All right. What echoes through your head is the voice of Perrin Alistrara. And the message is, Bolo, drow named Maligar, extra-legal friend, might be helpful. Okay for Silvio to stay. We'll contact him separately. Just greased bunch of Thayan archaeologists. Bought time.
I like to imagine that you actually have a little, like, jeweled Bluetooth headset in your ear all the time.
It requires a sapphire to make it go.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Once again, I would just like to point out that you forgot to put that you can respond to this message at the end. It's required, people.
No, I know.
make him a magical item. Pam's magical headpiece.
Yeah.
Pam's magical head. Let me write that down.
Or earpiece, really, yes.
Yes.
It would be copper inlaid because that's part of the material components, and then with the sapphire because Bluetooth.
Well, like that, the copper's the part that hangs down a little bit, and then the sapphire's the actual microphone.
Ooh, this is very. Yeah.
It wraps around the ear and just kind of sits there. It all works out.
What I'm hearing is that we definitely need to have an artificer in the party to be making Bluetooth.
Are you kidding? I can do this as the DM. I can do this all night.
I mean, you could just ask Bert. I'm sure he could hook you up.
The best part is we make one for everybody, and then we just use them as like headsets of sending. And on occasion, when we are entertaining dwarves, the one that they can broadcast to an open area and like some sort of speaker system.
Where is Victor at about this time?
So Victor would spend about half the time getting ready for the trip, coordinating, getting all his gear in order. But then he probably would take advantage of being in the dwarven hold and just kind of start poking around and asking. There's got to be some dwarves that specialize in crystals or the earthen element or that kind of thing. Just kind of try and investigate and see if anyone knows anything about these prosthetics that he was quote unquote gifted. But not like, running from place to place, but just kind of browsing, I guess.
Okay. So while Victor is prepping stuff for the coming journey, there's sort of a knock at the door to whatever storeroom that the party, I guess, is probably set up at. And let's say a lithe drow gentleman with a top knot and a rather fine white satin robe on pops his head in and goes, "Excuse me, I'm looking for Bert. I was told he was in here."
Bert the alchemist?
Alchemy, yes.
He's not here now. I saw him, I don't know, in the last 15 minutes. He should be around helping with the preparations.
Oh, and the drow gentleman sort of cocks his head at Victor and goes, "You wouldn't happen to be Victor Toussaint, would you?"
Yes, that is my name. I mean, there's probably not too many humans in this dwarven city. Who might you be?
I am Malagar, and I think an associate of yours, Perrin Alistrara, told me I should come here and find you, that you might be in need of some assistance.
Really? Perrin sent you personally?
Yes, we were on a pirate ship out in Antumbel, taking in some sun and enjoying some light raiding. And they said that, I was actually headed towards a place I think you're also headed. And he mentioned that your crew might be in need of some help.
It is true that we could use help. We had an unfortunate passing. What sort of help can you provide?
Well, I'm actually reasonably good at desert travel, for example. I am a licensed cleric in this part of the world now.
Licensed.
All right.
Not ordained, licensed.
And, let me find Bert. I need to pick something up from him that we had agreed to exchange a little while back, but maybe I can come find you all in a little bit.
All right. We could definitely use a desert travel expert. It was nice to meet you.
Yes, it's a pleasure. And he shakes your hand, whether you like it or not.
Victor's perfectly willing to shake the hand of a drow that Perrin sent to find them.
Yep. And he also has a matching white eye patch that sort of coordinates well with the robe that he's wearing.
Okay. Well, Victor knows what it's like to have chunks of your body missing, so
yes,
it warms him up a little bit.
Anyways,
Malagar and Victor are bonding over their missing body parts.
I'll I'll come find you. I shouldn't be too long. And he wanders off in whatever direction you might have mentioned Bert being in.
All right. I probably knew the at least general area where he was.
Okay, Paige. So I will send back to Perrin. Found an interesting opportunity. Expect reinforcements. Silvio, more details. Got approval to follow dwarven tunnels. We'll contact once we are in the sands.
Okay, that's your reply?
Yep, that's my reply.
Okay.
Do you say that out loud?
No, I definitely walk out of the room before I say that. I don't say that in front of Ross.
Actually, I think sending can be done entirely mentally.
That is true. Yeah, I think so.
I like to imagine that you've got one finger in your ear and you're just like right in the middle of our conversation.
That's the somatic component.
That's the somatic. This is how you do it. You just do this and look upwards. It works
have
great.
to touch your copper wire with the Bluetooth, with the
exactly.
the sapphire attachment, and look up. And Ross is just like, what is a phone?
Gotta pair it with your phone.
So I will, after I do that, after I kind of pause for a moment, I'll say, okay, Ross, I'll be right back.
I'll be here. As he punches a thong into the sock. It's the only thing I can think of that was off the top of my head.
Gross.
Are we sure about giving Ross unrestricted sock access?
Gross.
And
Ross,
didn't we all agree he had to carry his own allotment of sock?
Okay. If it makes you feel better, it could be my ghost lantern that is no longer attuned.
There you go. Much better.
Or a
Much
towel, or, you know.
Nope. I am a small business owner, Paige, okay? I have to take care of the merchandise.
Fair enough.
This is all really upsetting.
Ross, don't worry. It'll all work out. I promise. I go and find Silvio.
Silvio is not too far away from the courts, hanging out, and since there's not a whole lot going on, since you all have decided to leave tomorrow, he's probably just watching dwarves run around while he drinks.
Silvio, do you have a moment?
Apparently, I have all day, so by all means.
I think we should go after the gnolls.
Ooh.
I don't think that Victor obviously doesn't feel that way.
Are we?
But there are several people in our command structure who could overrule him. And so I was planning on informing him that Perrin has told us to go after the gnolls.
Or you could just, merely tell him something that was perhaps garbled in translation in descending?
Perhaps. But if I'm going to hide some truth from him, I might need your assistance, perhaps? I'm not the best at delivering a lie like that, but you have an excellent skill at it.
How many times have you heard me lie? What is this? I am the best part about. Put your hand down. The thing is about the lies, you have to see it with a bit of truth. But because I believe that these gnolls, they need our help, and that is what Aglaron does. And if we sacrifice our core of helping people in fear of security, then they have already won. Besides, there's countless artifacts and relics and all kinds of other crap hidden in deserts and in forests and buried in dungeons and all kinds of stuff. People, on the other hand, they are important. So, let me tell you a thing or two about lying.
Excellent.
Let me give you the crash course.
I do love crash courses.
I feel like it starts out with, it's all about the micro movements.
Keep your face totally still.
Either be that, or you're just always so animated that no one can pick up on it.
Just be so animated, the most animated. Okay, cool. I'm ready to do this thing.
So when you are ready to go do that, after we have had the pep talk,
Excellent.
I will first of all cast a spell, which I hope you do not counter because that would be awkward.
I do not.
So
No one else nearby counters it either.
That's good, because otherwise I can just see like a whole class of dwarven and druids just being like, yeah, gotcha.
This is when Paige comes in on Joe's master plan here. Counterspell, counterspell, counterspell.
It's gonna happen someday. It's gonna happen.
So Sylvia will cast Enhance Ability with Eagle Splendor, so you have advantage on all charisma checks.
Excellent.
For an hour or until I stop concentrating. And then we will, just like a very Shakespearean story, right outside the door where you go talk to Victor, we will have a very quick powwow, and by powwow, we will have a very quick prep talk.
I'm all prepped.
I will inspire you so that you also have bardic inspiration for the next 10 minutes.
Excellent. Excellent.
And then I will go stand away so that things cannot be bad to me. But close enough. Very Shakespearean. So
I don't know. So we've had some great lines here. One that would make good episode titles. One would be, I think we should go after the Knolls. Solid. But then, let me tell you a thing or two about lying. That's good. But, and then I shall move away so that nothing can be tied to me is also a pretty good episode title.
I feel like this is a scene where you are standing on a balcony overlooking the conversation.
I was thinking it's either that or they're on a balcony and I'm under them.
There you go. Yep.
From there, but either way.
And then you're like, attaboy, Wildfire. That's how you do it.
Okay.
My star people right there.
So I'll go to Victor's room, knock on the door.
All right. I mean, Victor wouldn't be in this room, but you would know where he is. He's
Well,
probably
I can go to wherever Victor is then. Where would Victor be?
probably in the supply area, doing supply stuff, checking out the lizards. If Ross doesn't want to see him, Victor will go check him out, make sure they're there. So he can describe them to Ross.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bridge that we cross at a later date. I feel like we got enough going on right now.
I mean, you can walk if you want.
So they actually take you down below, and like past all these barrels of dwarven holy water that are aging, and where there's a series of heavily armored doors and with like murder gates. And beyond them is just unworked stone. And the lizard stables are there. The lizards are about, 10 feet long. They're kind of long-legged. They're kind of like a long-legged alligator. Long-legged, thick-bodied alligator. Dewback. They look kind of like a smaller dewback. For those of you who are Star Wars nerds.
Are these the riding lizards from 4th edition that I love so much?
Yes!
Oh man, now I'm gonna have to look those up.
Yes! They're not spiders. They won't climb walls, but...
Yeah, no.
But they come in all sorts of shades of mottled pale gray and brown and up to kind of a deeper chocolate brown. And they seem very placid and amiable as saddles are loaded on them and panniers of food are put along them as well. They're just trying the saddles for today and getting things organized so that tomorrow morning they know how to load it and you can go.
I'll ask the attending dwarves what they eat.
Oh, well, these folks are super hardy. The dwarf livery attendant slaps the lizard on the side. Trust me, these babies can eat mushrooms, oozes, carrion. They're not real good predators. They're definitely more scavengers, but they've been bred to eat damn near anything, and they don't have to eat very much. They also don't go very fast, but they don't have to stop. Like, they'll go a full 8, 10, 12 hours walking without any complaints.
That seems perfect.
Your groups used to, the woman says, your groups used to riding horses, right? Or ponies?
Yeah, we all have at least some experience doing that.
Well, your asses are gonna hurt something fierce for the first several days. I'll pack some salve.
I appreciate it.
Wow, Victor, these are mighty large lizards.
Yes, they mostly eat carrion and slimes and stuff. So
after some discussion with Perrin, he thinks it would be important for us to go and rescue the Knoll patriarchs.
Matriarchs.
Matriarchs?
Yeah,
Matriarch,
right.
sorry. Matriarchs, wrong letter.
then I guess that's what we'll do. I mean, Paige,
Definitely to spend that bardic inspiration die.
Victor has an astonishing passive perception of, I believe, or inspiration, insight. Of 11,
Nice. Ben, you rolled better than I did.
which
You know
means
what?
that
I'm so proud. Jesus H. Pollywoggle, Joe.
so wow, you so 11 apparently is pretty stout. But yeah, you got it.
Like they should call you Wildfire, they should call you Wildfire.
And I mean, Victor, he doesn't have any reason to suspect anything. So, well, that is good. It felt uncomfortable ignoring the Knolls like that, and even with Griffin Riders, it's unclear when a squad of our caliber would be able to brought to solve the problem. So, I guess things works out.
Indeed. Oh, he did mention also we had a bit of a conversation. He mentioned some sort of operative by the name of Malagar, who might be of some assistance to us.
Yes, I've met him. He's apparently a Drow desert expert. So it's odd because we're not going to the desert anymore. But
well, we're heading to the desert after the Knolls.
That's true. You're right.
We're not never going to the desert, you see.
Yes, of course.
And we did need. He's aware of Mira's loss, so I'm sure he realized we needed a replacement, or at least replacement. Maybe not the right word, but we needed an additional traveling companion to buoy our numbers.
Yeah, apparently Malagar is a licensed cleric. I don't know.
Licensed cleric. Oh,
what that
well, that's
means.
good. That's good that he's licensed. I hope he's licensed in Thay. But I mean,
it would be a shame if he couldn't heal us because of bureaucratic red tape.
Oh, that'd be the worst.
Tape. So yeah, we should check his credentials.
Maybe he has one of those multi-state licenses. It'll be fine.
Okay.
They have reciprocal licensing with Agleron.
But only for clerics. Only for clerics.
Probably only for clerics.
But he was a pretty pleasant fellow. He was going to talk to Bert. So for some reason, and then he'll probably pop up around here pretty soon in the next hour or so, and we can all meet him. Especially if we're going to be traveling. I mean, it'll be good to have him with us since we're going to rescue the Knolls.
Indeed. Yes, it'll be excellent. Well, I will continue preparing then.
All right. I think I've checked out the lizards. I'm going to go see if there's any dwarven elemental earth crystal experts around.
I'll come with you. I need to get a pebble.
That seems fair. I'll ask them a question about the Gala Moor, and you can ask them for a pebble. And I think one of us will be leaving happy for sure.
You know it.
All right, so a pebble is easily found. Like, the dwarves look at you funny. Like,
it's gotta be the right pebble. It's gotta be the right pebble.
Like, is that a euphemism for something?
I believe
I'll have to get dwarvish in case you. I don't think you do.
I believe it's got to be an artisan pebble.
It's gotta be an artisan pebble.
And finally, one of the dwarves calls over one of their children and speaks to them rapidly in Dwarven. And the kid comes back later with like a double handful of pretty pretty stones that are
Ooh.
rather pebble size.
I sort through them and find the perfect one for my vial.
Fair enough. So you're talking to Caleb Moore. They send you off to some of the older dwarves, and a dwarf lives, I think, 350-ish years, and some of these are right up on the edge of that. And they say that their parents had told them stories of the Caleb Moore and the building of the Watch Wall, but most of them have not. Some of them report having seen a Caleb Moore, but they look at your prosthetics, the crystals in your teeth, and while they're very impressed with them, they don't seem to have any intelligence on them.
Fair enough. I will keep asking. Maybe the Knolls have some ancestral tales about having rocks implanted in your head.
You never know. You never know.
Well, Paige, I'm going to go find Ross.
I believe Ross is angrily packing.
Yep.
I mean, at some point I will finish and go try to catch some sweet forge heat, but
No, it's good. So I come back, and Ross, why don't you come to me with the forge? I need to get some ash anyway.
All right. I suppose getting out of this room might do me some good.
Oh, and good news. Victor's decided that we're going to save the Knolls.
I kind of stop.
Technically true.
Victor decided that.
Well,
So-
after some discussion with me and with Perrin remotely.
Wait a minute. Perhaps you'd better start at the beginning.
Sure, I tell you the entire story. It's a very short story. I talked with Perrin. Perrin said we should get the Knolls. I told Victor. Victor agreed. Very short.
That seems completely trustworthy, and I have no reason to doubt it in any way. I'm sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face through that.
Here, I'm really good at this. Hey, nailed it. I'm getting better at telling this story.
Here's the problem, Joe.
Is there on there, Joe?
I mean, it's surely still the hour, right? I mean,
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's
that's
true.
your advantage.
I got a 15. I got a 15.
Also, here's the problem, Joe. On some level, Ross wants to believe.
Yeah, just
So-
want to believe it's fine. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at it. 5, 8, 15. It's just going up. I'm just getting much better at this story the longer we go.
It doesn't have much of a choice but to go up.
That's probably true.
You have advantage because of his belief.
That's true. That's true.
Then outside, Silvio's drinking, and just a single tear rolls down his eye. I'm just so proud of you.
That was awful, but I'm still proud you tried.
I don't know. Like, Ross is a little split on this now because, like, he truly believed that, like, Victor had the right of it. That, like, eye on the prize, greater good, but, like, also the satisfaction of the here and now, like, that feeling is not to be denied either. So, Ross is not really sure how to feel about this decision, but
Aaron thinks the Knolls will be very handy.
one good fight and all of those feelings will be washed away in the sweet bliss of adrenaline.
Yep, that's true. That's true. It's fine. Perrin thinks that the Knolls will be great allies to us all. I'm just gonna keep digging this hole. I love this hole. I live in this hole now. It's great.
Monstrous. Monstrous.
Yeah, you do.
I go down and get some ash from the forges and leave Ross there to warm up.
Oh my god, it's so amazing. I'm just imagining, like, me, the player, am just imagining it, and it must be delightful. Guys, it's winter right now. I've got my blanket for warmth because I live in the hellscape that is southern United States, where it's actually pretty mild right now. If you're not me.
Yeah, Coda gets cold so easy. So easy. Coda's being cold all the time, and my post-hysterectomy hot flashes trying to be in the same room together is real bad.
There were several times recording the podcast where Paige attempted to kill me through freezing. So
I just handed more blankets because it's like, baby, there's only so much clothes I'm willing to take off here. That's right. The dwarves are kind of like, do you want to take we can show you all, and you're like, no, I'm just gonna sit here for a while.
like these rocks right here are real warm. I'm
They
just
are.
gonna hug them for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like I've gotten everything I've wanted. Warmth, and we're going after the gnolls, and yet inside Paige.
Yeah.
Still feel like Victor may have been right.
That is something you'll need to discuss with Victor.
Why did
Help you.
getting everything I wanted hurt so much?
So, Paige, my plan is to go and go to the chest where we stored all of Mira's things.
Yep.
And take a small spoonful of water and put it into the vial.
Okay.
And then stopper it permanently. Get them to kind of cover the top in gold to fully stopper it. And then I'm going to go back to my room and begin scribing spells for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you mean your room or the communal ready room?
Well, the communal ready room, it has the most space.
Yeah.
I would imagine we were functionally sleeping in kind of bunks, functionally.
No, they were guest rooms, but it's a suite. It's like 6 different bedrooms with a common area.
Sure, I need a fair amount of space to do scribing, especially from a spare book I've never used before, so I'm going to kind of set up in there and start scribing some
They'll
spells.
bring you a table and a desk and light.
Excellent.
It's going to take so much room to remove the human skin that necromancer spellbook is bound in.
I rub it on my face.
Do you? Do you really?
No. Alright, now we're at the second. Maybe later,
Let
when
me
I'm in
know.
private.
It's got creepy. It's got
That's,
creepy.
Sure, we'll
yeah.
have no reason to make you make saves.
I'm going to start with Misty Step.
Were you perhaps thinking of cutting to Belwyn, Paige?
Yes, Belwyn, you were going to go talk to
Oh,
your
I gotta
mother
go talk
and
to my
father?
mum and my dad.
In the good news department, Bowen, in doing this conversation, Chad has decided that we definitely have a floating player inspiration as well.
Woo!
That's good.
Maybe you can get out of going on this trip yet.
The chat has spoken.
That is good. I think I got one earlier from saying something terrible or hilarious.
You said something funny in chat.
All right, so I will not claim it yet, but as soon as I spend it, and then have to use another one, I'll definitely grab it.
So you are talking to your family.
Right.
All right, so when you enter the throne room, Brangian and Freya are there in conversation, and Bright Boot, your father, has strolled in and is standing next to his wife with a plate of canapes and counseling her about something in hushed tones. When you walk in, his face lights up, as does your mother's and your aunt's, and they're like, here you are. Freya says, you did talk to Graham, didn't you?
I. Now, Pa, they did tell you that they were sending me off. I just got home and they're already just, getting rid of me. Did you hear about that part?
I did hear about that part. I've taken the liberty of packing you a bag. It's got some of your favorite foods in it. He comes over and hands you a well-made backpack, and I got you a new pair of boots. I didn't know how old those were, so there's new boots and a special travel towel, and it's got a bunch of your favorite preserved foods in there, and a new kind of soap that's good for your skin.
Aww.
He pats you on the shoulder. I'm so proud of you, honey.
I made the face that I can't actually complain now.
It's so beautiful.
It's the worst.
Rojian might be queen, but we all know that Bright Boot kind of wields the soft power.
Right. Well, Ma and Ma. So I went and talked to Grams, and
what'd she say?
well, so she told me something that I hadn't thought of before, that I think is quite important for us to discuss before I go off on this grand journey that you're exiling me for.
Freya rolls her eyes at you. It isn't an exile. I'll show you what an exile looks like.
I do remember, all the times that you sent me away for a minute to be alone with my thoughts in the banishment room.
Yes.
I'm going to avoid that one from now on. That's all right. But Ground said that we've been, a wee bit keeping to ourselves. A wee bit. How'd you say? I think the way she put it was that we were insular and quite a bit up our own asses. So what I think is,
thinks about it and says, yes, I think that's about right. Yes.
So what I think,
you get the impression that she doesn't think this is a bad thing.
So what I think is, given that we're off to stop Thay and save Knowles and do all kinds of other.
You're saving the Knowles?
I don't know. I mean, you're sending me off with these people. I figured it was for
I thought they weren't going after the Knowles.
What?
They weren't going after the Knowles last time.
Oh, great! I don't have to worry about all that flea powder. Woo! Safe from that one.
Bright says, "Oh, but I did put some foot powder in there for you, darling."
Oh, good. I'm going to break in these new boots. And this is one of those newfangled waffled texture towels you got here. Well, anyways, so if Thay comes, they're not going to stop with the wine country and the cities and the ports and all that stuff. They're going to be coming for us too,
Right, and in the mountains we can hold them off. Freya leans in and says, I've drawn up some excellent battle plans, assuming the undead come at Boulder Hall from one of 6 different groups. Would you like to see them? I've got them all sketched out. I'm very proud of them. It's going to be a brilliant fight.
Well, speaking of brilliant, when I spoke to Grams, we had this brilliant idea that if I were to go with these Forester folk and fetch their magic folk in MacGuffin and save their whole fucking country, then we could get a seat at the table, and then we wouldn't have Foresters coming and asking us for shite all the time. We'd actually have a way to talk to people and have better trades, so that we didn't have all these trade routes that had gone to shite. And
like there's a record scratch, the music stops.
I don't think that it's not only Ma is it the right thing to do so that we can be showing that we're the best folk in all of Aglarons, but other Ma, it's strategically important.
Brandon and Freya.
It's some sound strategy. Even.
Brandon and Freya look at each other for a moment, and they're like, "Oh no. Freya's like, "We are not going to be subjects of Aglaron. We're dwarves."
What? We wouldn't be subjects, I'll just, get over there and talk to their king and say, "Oh, we just saved your country, let's work out some trade deals and shite."
Trade? Brandon says, "What do they have that we want?"
Well, I don't know. We haven't fucking asked in how many years now?
I don't know. My big great-grandpa, I think, said something about the time that the humans had arrived in Aglaron. Something about that. So we've checked relatively recently.
Well, you know what? Grams and I think we haven't. So I think that it might be best if you're sending me off on this cockamamie exile that I ought to, make sure that our people grow tighter together. Some synergy.
Brangian and Freya both look extremely unconvinced. But Freya leans in and says, "Gran said this? I mean, Mama, your Gran? Said that? Out loud? With her mouth?"
Well, I mean, she made noises that eventually got around to that. So to speak.
The queens look decidedly uncomfortable. Brangian says, "Well, Ma was always the wisest of us." Freya's like, "Oh, aye, and she keeps rubbing that in. That's what you get being a cleric."
I mean, it's true. And besides, if nothing else, then we can go out there and we can show them how to make a real chippy. Because I'm sure they ain't no shite about cooking, or definitely not frying.
Brightboot strokes his majestic gray beard and says, "The girl does have a point. Doramog has been saying that he's had some interest in heading off into human lands as well. Of course, Hanamura's got nothing for it. It might be worth listening to her. Branchian shrugs and says, well, go do the thing, and we'll see where that lands us with Aglarond. It's entirely possible, but by the time you get back, that'll have been pasted by Thay anyway.
Well, here's the thing, Ma. If you're sending me out there and they get pasted by Thay, I'm going to be out there too, so...
Well, you just come back through the tunnel, won't you, smart girl?
Well, I perhaps I will. Perhaps I will. But, I'm going to go out and I'm going to make the best of this and be proactive and make you proud.
Brandy comes down and takes your hands and says, I've always been proud of ye. I've been proud of ye since you can walk. This is not what you have to do to make me proud of you. I'm already there.
Well, aye, but you're the one that sent me away, aren't you?
No, sort of.
A bit.
A bit. This will be good for you. You need to get out and experience things. I was an adventurer for many years when you were growing up, as you recall, and that gave me the power and the wisdom to govern here. You need that same experience.
All right, and as I do, I'll make new alliances and make sure that we have lots of friends and we have strong allies in government. Because...
Well, you're the one who will be queen one day.
Right, exactly. I'm just doing what's best.
Well, you've got at least another 50 years or so.
Well, I better make all 49 and a half of them count then, do it.
Sure.
We'll find them.
Freya comes over and engulfs you in a crushing hug and says, you're always my favorite niece. Good luck out there.
Well, thank you, Other Ma.
And Branjean and Brightbroot come forward and give you big hugs as well.
No.
Brightboot says, now be very careful. I think that wizard's about at the point where he might be able to do sending, so please consider the sending home every once in a while.
Yeah, he's probably
So close. So close.
I love that you can tell just by looking at him, although the Sapphire microphone might be a dead giveaway.
Brightboot
Wait, I got a call.
For a very long time. He knows how it goes.
Right?
It was a different edition, but still.
It's not too different. Right. So, warily, not entirely pleased that my reverse psychology has still had me sent off. I'm going to go down to... I'm going to have... No, because I'm a princess. I want to have somebody be sent up from the lizard stables. Mm-hmm. Somebody that's an excellent leather worker. And I'm going to have them join me in heading over to where these forester folk are.
All right. It is easy enough to summon up a leathersmith.
Great.
Leathersmith.
That's what they're called. All right. So who's doing what next?
I'm still scribing spells. I got nothing interesting.
I believe we are...
I'm like accepting deliveries of all the goods. Like I'm... I can be slightly interrupted. It's fine.
We're all just finishing our preparations in the ready room.
Great. In that case, I'll show up. All right. Well, I have good news, and I have better news. The good news is that
better news first.
Oh, better news. All right. Well,
always. Oh, we have music again now that we're past the record scratch.
Oh, we have music again.
Yes.
How fancy. Right. Well, the better news is I have one of the best leather workers from down by the, where we keep the stables. And Ras, I think since you're such an accomplished fella, I think you would be perfect to be the lizard mount that I ride in the battle. So he's going to go ahead and get you set up with a saddle.
I look at Victor. She's joking, isn't she?
It's hard to tell with dwarves. We're guests here. You should probably at least get fitted.
Wait, what?
Is that a command, Victor?
No, you don't have to have a saddle if you don't want to. You can have people ride you bareback.
It's fine. I got good thighs. I'll be able to hold on just fine. No, I'm just fucking with you. Be off with you, leather boy.
I look around the room like, what just happened
The
here?
leathersmith looks at Ross, and then looks at Belwyn, and then looks at Ross, and looks at Belwyn, and looks at Ross, and looks real disappointed, and then leaves.
Right then. So that was the better news. The good news is I'll be joining you on this grand expedition to Singing Sands. Stinging Sands? Whatever the fucking sands are.
Sure, I mean that's what your mom and mom said, right? So we're good to go.
Yeah, it wasn't fully agreed at the time.
It was
Well,
Right.
We will appreciate having a guide through the tunnels. It would not be good to get lost underground.
Right. We'll need to get one of those as we head for those tunnels. But more importantly, I'll be able to go with you so that when we're successful in the sands and bring back the MacGuffin, I'll be able to meet your king, and we'll be able to have a great time making a better union between our stronghold and your whatever it is you got out there.
I mean, wait. Don't,
Arms.
We
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely that. Yeah.
something along those lines will probably happen.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Yeah, sure.
So you're not going to guide us through tunnels at all. We need to find a professional tunnel guide.
What? No, I mean I've been down tunnels before.
I've been down lots of tunnels too.
Ah!
Oh, hello.
Where did you come from?
Hi.
Who is this guy?
Oh, maybe you can introduce me to your friends, Victor.
No,
This is-
Malagon, he's an amazing artist. He's
Oh, it's nice to be recognized.
Queens.
It's true.
Russ once again looks at Malagar or at Victor, just like, what is even happening right now?
Malagar was sent to us by Perrin as reinforcements. He's a desert expert.
Yes, and I also have business in the Singing Sands, and well, being Perrin and I have been good friends for a while. Malagar, by the way, is wearing a white satin robe, and he has a leather eye patch on, and he's also carrying and the eye that you can see is a little bit bloodshot right now, and he's carrying a really big paper bag full of fried potatoes that he's eating as he's talking to you. Oh, and there's a big holy symbol of Sune hanging around his neck.
Yeah.
Kind of gaudy.
So first of all, Sherzies.
Yes, please. These are you dwarves fry the best potatoes.
Oh, we do. You should see us fry some fish.
Ooh.
And Belwyn leans over and whispers, "Are you fucking high?"
I think so. That's what Bert said that this substance would do.
We need to share that too after we get done talking to these fucking people.
I have a very big bag of it that Bert blessed me with.
I gesture over at Victor to kind of wave him over.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we should tell Belwyn now that there's not a king or a queen of Aglaron? It's ruled by a council?
I mean,
Or should we just hold pat? I think that might be best. We just hold pat, right?
He seems like the type of person that just kind of takes things as they come.
Yeah. She sees like she could just roll the punches. It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
She, yes.
Y'all look up from your conversation, and Ross is also now into the drugs that Malagar has acquired from Bert.
No. You don't eat. Well, you shouldn't eat it. I guess you could eat it. I've never tried eating it.
To eat the last one. Are these not the same?
Before the celebrations really take off, I'd like to inform Belwyn and Malagar that we are actually taking a large detour away from the Singing Sands to help the gnolls with their plight and hopefully get them out from under the thumb of Thay.
Wait, what?
How big of a detour?
I don't know. Many days, wizard
20 miles.
armies.
It's 20 miles. It's like a day of travel.
Uphill both ways in the snow.
Belwyn looks at Malagar. She's like, You know, for a sec, bruv, I thought these edibles weren't shite, but now I'm hearing all kinds of crazy things.
I am as well. Why are you making this detour? I thought you were going directly to the Singing Sands. I was told.
Apparently, Perrin has decided that the right thing to do would be to rescue these gnolls and bring them to the safety of Aglarond. Do I have the right of that?
Huh, that fickle asshole.
Yeah, well, I don't. Did he give any sort of a reasoning behind it, Wildfire? Behind the change?
He thought they would be useful allies.
Okay, so we'll need to prioritize making them allies, I guess.
All right, well, you know, it's a very noble thing to do, and, you know, I can't quite say I'm glad to be a part of it, but, you know, we'll make the best out of it.
Yeah, it'll be kind of like a warm-up, I guess, before the big show in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
We'll kind of shake our kinks out by assaulting a Thayan stronghold in in Thay.
I mean, you know, you don't want to start too easy.
That's true, yeah.
So for reference, we at a normal travel pace, we could travel 24 miles. So we are going 2 days out of our way, plus however long this takes to actually rescue them.
That is quite a detour.
3 days, maybe 4.
So you're saying...
I'm looking to get some personal revenge on some Thayan necromancers for what they did to Mira.
I'm hopeful we don't actually run into any Thayan necromancers. That would be optimal.
The
But,
intel
we'll see.
we got were that these Thayans were the enchanter flavor.
Wait a minute, I thought she jumped in a fucking cauldron. What part of revenge are we... I thought the cauldron was already broke.
The cauldron was not appropriately labeled, and that kind of thing really bothers Ross.
Oh, that'll fucking get you. We gotta get these bastards.
They violated so many OSHA regulations.
Yeah,
mean,
we
and-
don't have any ocean regulations here, but I'm gonna guess that that's important to you.
I think it's DOSHA, Dwarven Occupational Safety and Health Administration.
Right, completely different.
Like,
Much
you guys
better.
put railings around the huge pits in there. Like, if there's a river of lava, you're more than likely to put at least a trip guard on it.
Oh, of course, we got fucking unions. What do you think? Running around all willy-nilly? What? Shite, actually, all of, August off for holiday.
Is true.
I think we should finish preparing then.
Mm-hmm.
Malagar, it's a pleasure to have you along. I mean, parents spoke highly of you.
Ah, that's good. He is. I also hold him in great esteem.
And so you're a desert expert and a licensed cleric? Does that
Yes.
involve healing wounds or casting magics, or are you just like...
I've been known to lay on hands.
All right. Keep us...
That was a weird way of saying that.
What? It's what it said in the pamphlet. Laying on hands.
Is there some sort of application we have to fill out to approve you laying hands on us?
Ideally, I would have your vocal consent for these types of things.
Well, but what if the person's unconscious? Maybe we should write up some kind of release for each of us, so that if we're unconscious, you'll still feel empowered to do the laying on of hands.
You're just looking for an excuse to do paperwork.
Oh, no, never. Why?
That's actually a really good idea. I have a number of releases here. I'm sure I could modify them from nude modeling to consensual healing.
Well, I have a couple examples. We should definitely go over them a little bit.
Excellent.
Did he say nude modeling?
You're a natural, Ross.
He did, yes.
Well, it's not like you gotta take much off. You got, what, a loincloth on? And that's it? I mean, jeez. I never heard of such silliness around modesty.
It wasn't modesty. I just didn't expect a cleric drow to be into that sort of thing.
Oh, I mean, shit. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to go to this surface now. You all don't have railings. You probably don't even have nudes on page 6. So you're what?
Publications?
Right.
Brother Fender has a good point.
Okay.
Sorry, Brother Fender also has a good point that we should probably have we should specify revivify or no revivify as part of the legal release form.
We can cover this.
Whether or not it's the Thayan Special Arcane Revivify.
Exactly,
Ooh.
exactly.
That is a big difference.
I don't think any of us want the thing
Listen,
special.
sometime we gotta know if there are extraordinary measures or not. It's fine. It's important to know.
We can talk about your medical orders.
So I guess the last thing is, do we need a guide through the tunnels? Like, do we need to find a dwarven guide through the tunnels?
No, I got a fucking map.
Oh,
Great.
you mean the tunnel under the river?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I came in that way.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
go out.
Oh,
And
good.
you
What,
came in? They said
Especially
it
with our
hadn't been,
princess's help here.
they said it hadn't been used in like a long time, but I guess
Well, no, it's not particularly used for trade because it's not like we're rushing to get trade with any fucking Thayans. Like, ooh, chill
Yeah,
out.
that's true. Yeah. But people travel.
so what did you encounter on the way in?
A number of things. We'll discuss it later.
Very well.
Foreshadowing.
yes, he encountered things.
I'll
Also-
tell you all about it in this off-camera scene.
Well, we'll be leaving at the crack of dawn, or whenever the dwarves tell us it's the crack of dawn, because we're just taking their word for it at this point.
Actually, the Grand Hall at Boulder Hall has a few windows that let in actual sunlight.
Ooh, very cool.
Well, right then. You should probably. Well, yeah, you should probably go tell the queens that you're gonna, do the whole Knoll thing. Are you gonna go tell the Knolls that too? Or be like, surprise! Here's your fucking matriarchs. I bet you didn't think you were ever gonna get them back. Oh, you big punks!
That is an excellent point. Victor and whoever wants to come along will go tell the queens, or if they're busy, their agent, that we are going to rescue the Knolls,
All right.
or try to, or die trying.
So where are you going? Are you talking to the Knolls? You're talking to the Queen?
I'm talking to the queens.
Okay. Right. So the queens can be found in the throne room, and they're have a bunch of ministers. And it looks like they're working out some sort of business of state. But when Victor comes in, Freya's like, "Oi! Finally, a good reason to get away from this. Come over here, have a drink."
All right, Victor will belly up to the table and accept their libation.
Ooh, shoot, all of you. Psst. We'll come get you in a bit. Freya leans over. Thank you for the rescue, trade ministers. Brangian kind of has a dark look on her face, like she did not particularly want to interrupt that meeting, but done is done, and now she's too polite to say anything. So, Victor, Brangian says, how may we help you?
I just wanted to inform you that we talked to the higher ups, or we got the sending spell, and they want us to change our course and rescue the Knolls, or try and get the Knolls liberated.
I'm sure that Knolls will be quite happy about that. Well, you'll still need to go through the tunnel to get to that side of the river without having to deal with Thayan aerial forces as well. So good, I guess. Do you need to talk to the Knoll delegation again? And what do you think we should do with them? You had talked about perhaps letting them go to Southwest Aglaron so they can, or something?
Well, they'll definitely come here first, because, those
Well, I'm
Shybar...
talking the two that we got.
Oh, I'll let Silvio deal with that, whatever he thinks is best.
Excellent. I like good delegation in a leader. And Freya thumps you on the arm hard.
But yeah, so in Derry, if things go well, and a handful of days, there'll be 1,000 gnolls show up, or 10,000? I can't remember.
Brangian very clearly and through gritted teeth says it was 1,000.
Yeah, so 1,000 gnolls will show up. I mean, they'll all be above ground. I mean, we won't try and take them through the tunnels, I can't imagine.
No, they will definitely have to come through the Shyvar Pass the long way.
But, they'll probably be sore of foot and, being chased by those aerial forces that we will avoid by using the tunnels. So just kind of keep a lookout.
I will tell our Far Rangers to do so. So, while you're here, Brangian says, I would like to talk to you about a matter quite important to me. She kind of leans over and gets rather close to Victor and says, you're taking my middle child out into the dangerous wide world. I am remanding the safety of a princess of the dwarves to you, to the foresters, and to Aglarond. Please be sure she comes to no particular harm. I mean, it's okay if she gets bloodied up now and then. That's just good for her. But, and the odd, death and revivify is something that just happens from time to time. I'm fine with that. But make sure she's all right in the end, please.
Okay, so you want her to travel with us pretty much the whole way through. She had mentioned it, but she's a little glib, so I wasn't sure exactly if she was just going to see us through the tunnels, but
no, I think she's in for the whole ride. She and I had quite a discussion about it this morning.
Quite a fight discussion.
Well, she's a doughty warrior and
oppositional defiant child.
And we will include her in our group and try and protect her.
Yes, she is a dear love of my life, and I would be heartbroken for eons should she come to serious harm. So please don't let that happen. I'm not saying I'd invade Aglarond over it, but I'd certainly consider it.
Do you have a less loved third daughter we could take instead? Or fourth?
No, I only have 3 children, and I love them all equally.
Okay.
Anamora is quite a lady of the realm. There's no way she'd go out and adventure. Dormag is needed for his work with the army. So, Belwyn it is.
Very well. I look forward to traveling with her and learning more about the dwarves.
Aye, she needs to learn more about you too, apparently, says her gran. What more do you need from us?
That was it. I just wanted to tell you about the 1,000 gnolls that might be showing up.
I appreciate it.
5 more sets of full plate.
I appreciate you telling us about that. That'd have been most unfortunate for us to discover each other the hard way.
Although, practically speaking, by the time they get here, they'll probably be whittled down to 500, 600. So
moles are pretty tough.
And I guess if you point me towards the envoys, I'll tell them the good news.
Yes, Euphrini and Sarashal. Freya whistles sharply at one of the guards and makes a hand gesture. She'll show you where they are.
Okay. Actually, I might have them brought to our ready room so they can talk with the whole group, because everyone might have questions for them.
That's no problem. They seem to be extraordinarily well behaved. Not that we're not watching them carefully, but they seem to be extraordinarily well behaved.
Well, I'm risking the lives of my squad on, their say-so. So hopefully they're at least not some sort of Thayan trick.
So, Frangian kind of makes a face. I talked to him earlier today, and I hit him with a zone of truth.
Ah, zone of truth.
Yes, and I believe they are entirely genuine. Because there was no way in fucking hell I was sending my daughter out with something that might be a Thayan trap.
That is a powerful Dwemer to use, but to be honest, I'm grateful you used it in this case, because it is a dangerous undertaking we're going to do, and really, I just don't give the Thayans the satisfaction of falling for one of their traps. Like, we got you with the fake dolls, you know. We knew if we just set up with a sob story, you'd come running into our trap, and then they'd laugh their evil laughs, and we'd be like, damn it.
No, I don't get out to do much paladining out in the field anymore. My children and my subjects, she says to the guards, who kind of like roll their eyes, won't let my sister and I out into the fun anymore because we're queens. But that's not to say I still don't have some spells.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and it'll probably be a long time before we return, but we are grateful for your hospitality.
Aye, kick him in the junk, says Freya.
I'll do that for you.
She says, I really wish I was going with you instead of Belwyn, but they won't let me.
I feel like that's a signal to rescue her.
When
We're
I
gonna turn
return-
around and turn this whole campaign to rescuing the Dwarven Queen now.
Yeah, when
like
I
it.
return to the party, I say, screw the Knolls. We got to rescue the Dwarven Queen.
Ah, yeah.
She'll kick your asses if you try to rescue her. I wouldn't recommend it.
So the Knolls should be arriving shortly. We could ask them for any more details that you think would be useful now that we are going.
Excellent.
All right. Well,
I'm glad everyone has been informed appropriately.
Yes. That's a weird way to say it. But yeah.
Joe, you are so evil.
No comeuppance!
No comeuppance.
There will never be any consequences to this. Sure.
But Wildfire, you should be happy. The Queen said that we could question the Knolls while everyone was under a zone of truth. That should be useful.
no, they already questioned them. There's no truth.
No, I was just fucking with Wildfire.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, I'm very busy scribing. I will
Yes.
get right back to you. But you guys go ahead. It's all good. I trust you all to get the right information.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be. No, it'll be fine. I'm just too busy to be.
I'm too busy. I can't interrupt the process. I'm in the middle of learning Misty Step. I want to get that Venturic touch going. I just got a lot to do today.
All right, so so from the Knolls, before they show up, we know where we're going, and we have it on the map thanks to their description and the magical, basically map machine that we have. We know that there's 9 matriarchs, right?
Yep.
We know that to some degree they're probably going to be enchanted. So we'll probably need to break enchantments to free them. So I guess what we'd want to know is like how to identify the matriarchs, how to keep the Knolls from killing us when we meet them, and anything else they know that's useful.
Well, I can answer one of those for you.
All right.
The matriarchs are both the biggest ones, and they have the biggest, thickest of these pseudo peni that are always just real excited to see ya. So when you show up, it's just really impressive. You know, you might not want to let Ras see it since they seem like a bit of a prude, but
Well, you have to remember they're being enchanted, so perhaps they're in a in like a fugue state where they wouldn't be quite as enthusiastic.
Wait, are you saying that they might have caged the matriarchs?
No, I did not. So have the Knolls showed up yet?
There's a knock at your door, and a dwarven guard opens the door and says, I have a couple of gnolls for you.
Yep.
Also,
And-
maybe they can answer whether they're showers or growers or not.
Oh, Lord. And the two gnolls walk in. They actually have to kind of duck under the door frame because the gnolls are kind of on the taller side of humanoids. And the dwarf quarters are built for generally humans at the tallest. Like a dragonborn would be notedly uncomfortable in here. And probably Bert has bonked his head on a few ceilings before. So Sarashal and Euphrini are shown into the room, and they kind of stand there looking uncomfortable. And Euphrini says, "We were summoned. How may we help? We hope that you have. We hope to convince you to free our matriarchs, and we are willing to do whatever is necessary for that to happen."
Well, we have decided to try and free your matriarchs. So all you need to do now is give us anything you know that could help us do that.
The gnolls grin, great hyena-like grins, showing entirely too many teeth, and their ears perk forward. And Euphrini says, "You will? Excellent! Ha! Ooh!"
Paige, I out-tooth their toothy grin with a toothy grin of my own.
Oh, yeah? Make me a toothy grin check.
Oh, I will.
You're going like, man, for not having unions, they have really good dental care.
There might
I
be
got a
like
16.
I'm getting there. Plus.
Ah.
wow.
Oh, snap!
Paige, not that I want to belittle your nat 20 on the toothy grin roll, but you did forget to use your advantage, which this could be your only attempt.
Next
I
roll.
did it, guys.
Next
I got
roll.
to use her
All right.
inspiration.
Quick, get Bird in here and we'll have a height off.
So the gnolls have looked like they make a whole cultural lifestyle out of intimidation checks.
Yeah, with a nat 20 they do.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm feeling it.
So, Sarah Shaw and Euphini, you can't, or you won't be traveling with us. How will we convince the gnolls we meet, as we approach the fortress, not to, eat us?
Ross prefers badges if at all possible.
Mhm.
Badges.
I do. And I produce the "Do not kill me, I'm a forester" badge.
No, that won't work. But the gnoll holds up a paw, and you can see in the palm of that paw a glyph marked into it in scar tissue. But we usually show allegiance through a marking ceremony.
Oh, aye. So all we gotta do is, just superheat a disc with a strange colored piece of glass in the middle, and then grab it with our hands.
Yep, that's where that works.
You can take back 3 cubits for the Hebrew god. No, it's usually done with a matriarch's claw.
Is it always the same symbol? We could maybe get it made into stone, some kind of stone token by the dwarves. They are rather excellent at that kind of craftsmanship.
Can they add a badge back to it?
Sure they can.
Gnolls are much more likely to respect that than anything crafted by hand. Because anyone can craft anything by hand, but to take that mark implies that you sat still during the time that somebody was doing it to you because you wanted it.
All right. Well, I've got 5 straws here. One of them short. And,
There's only 4. They only have 4 hands in total, so it would be 4 straws.
So, Paige, which of the gnolls has been doing most of the talking? Sarashal or Euphini?
Euphini's been doing most of the talking.
So I will approach Euphini and say,
If I take this brand for you, you understand that we will forever be intertwined.
Euphini lays their ears back and clearly thinks about it and says, I understand that. At this point in time, you become... I'm not sure how you would become newest least male of the... Are you male?
I am, and I won't hold such a lowly position for long.
I'm sure you can move up the ranks of the males as you see fit.
In that case, you shall become honorary member of the tiger tribe of my folk. With this, we trade scale and mark.
Accepted.
Elwyn leans over to Malachar. Oh, are we stopping for a fucking wedding before we head off? Is that what's going on here?
Shh. This is a minute. Don't you ruin it.
I think that's the level of commitment that they've just.
I mean, they became family. It's kind of a marriage of convenience, but...
for the third time since we started this campaign, Ross will remove a scale. Like, the other two haven't even grown back yet. This is awful, y'all.
They're starting to look a little higgly-piggly, to be
God,
honest.
it's awful. And I will trade scales / marks with Euphini.
All right, Euphini takes the scale and opens a small pouch on their harness and puts it in there, and then says, "Give me your paw."
I will hold out my claw.
And takes your hand and turns it over so they can see the palm, and says, "This is going to hurt."
Right, before we get started with that, let me just call for a wedding cake just so that we can all celebrate. By the time this all is over.
Whatever your custom.
Great.
Why would we want cake?
I don't actually like sweet things. I can't really taste them.
Meat?
You should try the ones made of meat. I think they call them meat pies. They are better than you would expect.
I think I actually have a meat pie in here, and I pull out a meat pie out of the bag of holding. Meat pie. I think I have 6 of them, actually. Yep, 6.
So the gnoll takes your hand and then kind of holds it pretty tight, and then actually no, before they do that, they reach in their pack and they pull out a little small like pocket knife and they sharpen up one of their claws and put that up, grab your hand, take the claw, and then drag a symbol into it. And it's pretty ornate. It takes 5 or 10 minutes to do it, and it's cut deep. Like, the cuts are easily half an inch deep into your palm.
I mean, Paige, I'm now suddenly realizing I lost on every aspect of this trade because both their tradition and my tradition both involved causing me pain.
Yep. But at the end of 10 minutes, you have a super sliced up right hand with a bleeding symbol cut into it.
I take it in stride. I only, cry once.
As you wish.
But don't worry, they're just crocodile tears.
All right, that's it. That killed the show. We're done.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We're done. I can't end it any better than that.
It'll take us a while to recover from that.
Maybe the title for this one should be Crocodile.
Maybe a whole week. Maybe a whole week.
Yeah, I need a whole week to recover from that one.
Yeah. Coda, that was excellent. You will start next week with a point of inspiration just like me.
I mean, I do want to take this time to remind everybody that Feats Fables HR would like you to know that we cannot be held responsible for any puns experienced during this stream.
I mean, that's why they're here, for the puns.
Clearly. Clearly.
Clearly not for us to,
They know who we are.
I mean, they got to put up with our roleplay. Just think of the sweet, sweet puns.
Oy vey.
It's true.
That's right. We also. I could have used a player inspiration for my teeth grin. Damn it! I forgot about it. You're right. Thank you, Kurgosh.
Kurgosh, you got to keep us on the straight and narrow.
We'll up our game.
All right. Well, Joe, are we on the right screen?
I mean, we're on a screen. It's fine.
Let's put us on.
Okay, give me a second. I'm transitioning. I'm doing it right now.
Screens.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you, our dearly beloved chat, for joining us on this adventure in the inadvertent wedding of Ross and Euphenie. Please like, follow, and subscribe. That would be real nice. And also, thank you, chat, for inspiration both figuratively and literally. We love having you with us. Talking to y'all is the highlight of my week. We'd like to thank all of our listeners and supporters, Coda including.
So let's see. We of course have Old Slow Tiger, who just subbed Andrew down in chat there, and we've got our newest follower, Super Negative Nancy. So Super Negative Nancy, I hope that follow makes you a little bit less negative.
Or
unless you want to be negative.
Or more negative.
More negative.
Yes.
Or more negative. So
Or more
Whatever
Nancy.
amount of negative makes you happy.
super duper negative Nancy.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, so please join us next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch to see what happens next, and follow us to
adventure!
adventure!
Bye, everybody.
Love you.
Love you. Thanks for joining us.